Okay, let's explore this weighted average equivalent units process costing problem. All right, I'll read it to you. It says Hanover Glassware produces crystal serveware and uses process costing. At the start of May, 2,300 units were in process, and during May, 11,000 units were completed and 2,000 were in process. At the end of May, these units in process were 80% complete with respect to material and 30% complete with respect to conversion cost. And then they give us the costs that were in work in process at the beginning of the period and the costs that were incurred during May, and they ask us to calculate the cost of equivalent unit for conversion costs during May. Okay, now I've worked it down below. Anything that appears in black is given to you. Anything that appears in that sort of rustic red looking color, um, some may call it, I'm not sure what color it is, crimson perhaps. Um, those are ones you'd have to calculate or figure out yourself. So let's go through the logic, right? We start off with 2,300 units. Just watch my mouse here. And we know that then let's put in what we know. Then we slide on down. Completed and transferred out was 11,000 and in ending was 2,000. So we know the total to account for is 13,000. We would calculate this 13,000 first. If that's the case, then we know that a 13,000 goes here under total to account for as well, which permits us to determine what was started and completed if we needed that information. Okay? In this problem, you don't even need that information to solve the question they're asking. Then you would figure out, well, how much of the 2,300 was equivalent units from beginning? Well, we don't know this. I'm just assuming that all of the units were complete as to material at the start of production. And the only reason I'm assuming that is lots of production environments work that way. You know, that's based on my own personal experience. Usually by the time we get into a typical department, the material is already complete, and then we're going to convert the material into something else. That isn't always the case. So I'm going to assume it's 100% complete, but it's really irrelevant to this problem. And we don't know what the conversion cost. They don't provide us that. Then started and completed always means it's 100% converted. So you take the 10,700, multiply it times 100%, same thing for conversion. Okay? Now, they did give us some other information. This should appear in black. They told you the material cost, 28.4, and they told you additional cost of 198 and 242. And even though usually you see this done on separate schedules, I think we can get away with doing this shorthand approach on this one by putting them all on one quick schedule. All right, so we know the total account for is 13,000. Now we have to factor in how much was complete. Well, in this cell right here, which you can, if I hit the F2 or call it up here, you'll see I'm taking this value of cell B24 times 80% because it's 80% complete with respect to material. And if I move over and you look up here, you'll see that I'm taking 30%. Here's my 80% and 30% up here with respect to ending units, right? So once we know what was completed and transferred out and the ending units, we can compute the equivalent units to account for. So we just sum on down. 11,000 plus 1,600 is 12,600. We do the same math here. All right. Then we come over here and we say, well, we're using weighted average. Weighted average means take what you know were the cost at the beginning of the period and add in what else you incurred. Lump that together and divide by the equivalent units. So if we lump that together for materials, it's 226,800, right? I'm just summing from above, and I'm summing from above for conversion. And then divide by equivalent units. And this right here is what they're looking for. All right, there's your answer, that $25. How do we come up with it? Well, I simply take the 290,000 of conversion costs that we just determined and divided it by our calculation of the equivalent units. Okay, and that's really all there is to this one. I clicked somewhere else. Now, you could go ahead and calculate material cost, but this problem doesn't really, the question doesn't require you to do that. Okay, I hope you found this helpful.